What is good, everybody? If you clicked on the video, obviously you're interested in running an artifact deck, and outside of that, statistics would say you, as a community, Magic the Gathering players are pretty interested in running artifact decks, clearly. So I've got 11 artifact cards here that you can spend your next $10 on. That'll go into most any artifact list, so let's get into it. Up first here, we've got Mystic Forge, which is a 4-drop artifact that lets you look at the top card of your library anytime. You may cast artifact spells and colorless spells from the top of your library, tap it, pay 1 life, exile the top card of your library. In artifact decks, it adds an extra card to your hand, essentially. It lets you get rid of bad cards. And then my favorite thing in the world, in response to anybody doing anything, you go, whoa, 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 whoa. I'm gonna look at my top card. And that's always fun. Up next is Shimmermere, which has had a very, or Myr, whatever you want to say, which has had like a very interesting power level scaling in my mind, because when it first came out, I was like, this is insane. It has flash, gives all your artifacts flash, very good. And then for a little period of time, I was like, I don't think Shimmermere is that great. And then I started running an Alayla artifact deck, and I was like, oh, Shimmermere is insane. Run this in all your artifact decks. And it's 14 cents, by the way. I don't think I brought up the Mystic Forge price. Mystic Forge is a $1.97 for the Commander Masters one. You can get some cool, you can get that really cool one from Brothers War for $4.44. So if you want to fork out a little bit extra there. But yeah, fairly cheap. And Shimmermere, very cheap, very, very good as well. Myr Retriever is another one that goes in pretty much any artifact deck. A 2-drop, 1/1 that when it dies, return another artifact card from your graveyard to your hand. It's just good. It's just a super good chump blocker. Nobody really wants to swing at you because your best artifact just comes back from your hand. And if you're in an artifact deck, you probably have other ways to get other artifacts back. This is 81 cents, by the way. So, and speaking of other ways to get other artifacts back, Scrap Taller is 27 cents, and it's a 3-drop 3/2. Whenever Scrap Taller or another artifact you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, return to your hand target artifact card from your graveyard with lesser mana value. Scrap Taller is fantastic. Pretty much all your artifacts replace themselves with slightly smaller artifacts out of your graveyard, which you can see how that gets pretty insane. And for a little over a quarter, I mean, Scrap Taller is a pretty nutty card. Oh, and it has a really cool Brothers War version. I didn't even know that existed. Very cool. 68 cents for that one, if you're interested. I think I've talked about the next 2 cards like 3 or 4 times on my channel because I can't talk about them enough. They're very, very good cards, so I'll be quick. Foundry Inspector is a 3-drop that makes your artifacts cost 1 less, and it's 13 cents. And Ethereum Sculptor is a 2-drop, 1 in a blue, that makes all your artifacts cost 1 less, and it's 40 cents, or it's 39 cents. Very good, though. In an artifact deck, making things cost 1 colorless less easily becomes out of control quickly, and you start spamming your hand. So both very good cards for artifact list. Padim is up next, who's very, very good. I didn't know this card existed, but it makes sense because I didn't really play during Kaladesh, and I didn't buy any of the Brothers War Commander. So that would kind of add up. He's very, very good, though, or she's very, very good, whichever. Or they're very, very good. Whatever Padim is comfortable with, I guess. 3 in a blue for a 1/4. Artifacts you control have hexproof. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control the artifact with the highest mana value or is tied for the highest mana value, draw a card. Giving all your artifacts hexproof alone is very strong in an artifact deck. And then just card draw on top of that. Yeah. Yes. Please. Emery, Lurker of the Lock, is 38 cents, and again, I think I've talked about her a couple times, so I'll be quick. She's 2 in a blue for a 1/2. She costs 1 less for each artifact you control. When she enters the battlefield, mill 4 cards, and you can recast an artifact from your graveyard by tapping her. Very good recursion. If you're in blue, she's very solid if you're in artifacts. Psy Master Thopterus is next for 33 cents, and he's very solid as well, and I didn't know he existed. But again, makes sense. Didn't really play during the core set 2019, and I didn't buy any of the Commander precons, so... 2 in a blue for a 1/4. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, create a 1/1 Thopter artifact creature token. Very good. 1 in a blue, sacrifice 2 artifacts, draw a card. Sure, your artifacts make more artifacts, and artifacts draw cards if you sack them. Yeah, he's very great. Card advantage, you get chump blockers that are flyers, which is great. Joyra Weatherlight Captain is next, and she is very straightforward. She's a $1.47. 2, a blue and a red for a 3/3. Whenever you cast a historic spell, which artifacts are, you draw a card. So, pretty nutty. If you're in blue-red and you're in an artifact deck, Joyra is going to go in there. You're going to draw a lot of cards off this thing. Also, legendaries and sagas are historic, so Maybe not so much the sagas, but the legendaries, that becomes pretty relevant as well, especially in a commander. Then finally, we've got Liberator Urza's Battlethopter for $2.82. It is a 3-drop 1/2 with flying. You may cast colorless spells as though they had flash, and it itself has flash. And whenever you cast a spell, if the amount of mana cast to spend it is greater than Liberator Urza's Battlethopter's power, put a 1/1 counter on Liberator. So this thing just gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and it lets your artifacts get cast as though they had flash. It's just a shimmer mirror that's way better, but again, redundancy, having this and a shimmer mirror, you're going to be flashing stuff out like crazy. Now, if you want to buy all of these cards right now, it'll cost you $9.80. Come on. It's a pretty sizable upgrade. If you're in especially blue-red, this pretty much is a lot of cards that you would need for your deck. And if you're in any artifact decks, these will probably go in them. So hopefully some of these you didn't know maybe dropped in price, maybe you didn't know about them, or maybe you just forgot about them. Make sure to like and subscribe down below. If you'd like to submit a deck list for me to review on Friday nights, you can head over to Reddit at r/NixLotus to submit your deck list. And you can also head over to Patreon to become a patron. Starts as low as $1 to join our Discord and get shouted out at the end of each video. Anyway, guys, hope you guys have a good one, and go play some Magic.